Welcome to this 14th lesson in our Citizens Constitutional Advocacy Council CCAC 1.0 training series. This is CCAC Lesson 1.14 in our series. We have just learned that there is a time when we have the right to alter or abolish our form of government. But the question is this: when do we legitimately reach the tipping point that allows us to have such a right to do such altering or abolishing of our civil government, and the public servants do not have the right to stop us? Again, we turn to the Declaration of Independence to find the answer. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. Light causes would be ones that are frivolous, inconsequential, or minor in nature. Transient would be something that is temporary, or most likely to correct itself. We cannot just change things because we are affected a little bit or for a short period of time. We read on again, and accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind are more prone to suffer while evils are sufferable than to alter the forms to which they are accustomed. So this part of the Declaration of Independence is saying that unless we are in a situation where not only some suffering, but our self-preservation is at stake, where our lives and liberties are in jeopardy of being completely undermined, or we are being threatened where things may get too dangerous for our lives or liberty to be sustained, time may be running out and our very lives and freedoms are being taken from us, or where our unalienable rights are being removed, and we are subject to abuse, oppression, tyranny, confiscation of our property, denial of our abilities to live without fear and intimidation, in a state of constant agitation and a lack of public and private peace, losing our financial and economic survival or well-being, and the ability to maintain a minimal standard of living needed to survive economically, in which it is obvious that our government is not providing the proper protections and safeguards to allow us to correct these problems within our local communities where we live, and that it is even the government itself that is the cause of such tyranny, oppression, abuse, and usurpation. Again, unless these things have gotten that bad, we need to just be patient and wait to let things correct themselves. Are we there now? We are required to have political patience. This is demanded. We cannot just change things because we are suffering. That is what this part of the Declaration is telling us. The colonists understood this, and so do we. Here is the tipping point we were talking about in the next line. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, like the threat of a standing army, a police state expansion, or the national system of homeland security in which citizens across the nation are being marginalized, falsely stereotyped as belligerents or domestic terrorists, abused, threatened, harassed, victimized, denied basic rights to our lives, our liberty and property, and our pursuit of happiness, or trial by jury, being secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures, our property, our personal information being confiscated by government agents under the guise of national security, forced to purchase items we do not want to buy, or taxed to the length that we cannot economically survive, by rogue officials abusing their taxing power, and increasingly being monitored and recorded through technologies by the governmental apparatus without proper cause and due process, with an increasing number of SWAT raids numbering in the range of 80,000 SWAT team invasions into our homes per year compared to 2,000 in 1983, with a threat of unconstitutional martial law and thousands of incidents of such events that happen every single day, as documented by such reputable authors as John Whitehead in his book, Battlefield America, The War on the American People, in which it is clearly demonstrated that there are two sets of laws, one set for the oligarchy, the elite, and another set for the common American, and overseen not by courts of justice in this country, but courts of order to keep the good people in line. All of this misfeasance, pursuing invariably, that is, without turning one way or the other, but like a laser beam in one direction, the same object, meaning when our civil government is pursuing invariably a focused direction, not changing its emphasis or timetable, with an end to wipe out our unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, among others like free speech, free press, religion, to assemble peacefully, to petition our government for redress, to protest our government's actions, to instruct our representatives who deliberately ignore us and listen to lobbyists and corporate interests, to be secure from government intrusion and have all the rights that we still possess, as the Ninth Amendment points out, and neglecting to limit the government's power to those stated in the U.S. Constitution, so that the other powers not enumerated remain with the states or with the people ourselves, according to the 10th Amendment, or through federal and state laws being enacted under the guise of treasonous gun control to disarm the people and infringe on our unalienable right to keep and bear arms in order to remain safe and secure under our own self-defense as individuals and communities. And reading again from the Declaration, that evinces, that is, shows clearly, makes evidence, and proves a design to reduce them, that is, we the people, us, under absolute despotism. Let's put this next part in the first person plural here. It is our right, it is our duty to throw off such government. Did you know that it is not just our right, but our duty to throw off a despotic government, Americans? That is what the Declaration of Independence tells us. And to provide new guards for our future security. This is what we see is happening right now that provides us with lawful and legal justification to provide new guards for our future security. We have the duty to work together with fellow U.S. citizens to create and establish new governmental protections, what are called new guards, by which we secure our future. Caucus is such a possible new guard, and we believe we can actually put this new guard in place without bloodshed or violence, and by such a way that we can mitigate, that is, minimize the damage that could be caused to our society if we instead do nothing. We would also suggest that we have the ability to revitalize an old guard as well, that is also constitutional and legitimately a part of the government of, by, and for the people. So this is what the Declaration of Independence tells us principally as the basis of our political power, duty, right, privilege, and immunity, and that our opposition has liabilities, disabilities, and no rights to prevent or stop it. This completes the 14th lesson entitled CCAC 1.14. Thank you for listening to this 14th segment as part of our CCAC 1.0 series in our national orientation. Please join us for the next lesson in the series as we continue to unfold the Citizens Constitutional Advocacy Council story. This is the extraordinary process in which CCAC will successfully provide continuity of government of, by, and for the people. In our next lesson, CCAC 1.15, we will go on to explain further details of how we implement our Citizens Constitutional Advocacy Council. If you realize the necessity of revitalizing constitutional polity at the state and local level, please join this cause by going to www.ccac-us.com and registering on our official website. Take Pre-Quiz 1.0. We then urge you to work through the entire CCAC 1.0 series to understand the continuity of essential information we provide to help us all be on the same page. Then, upon passing the post-quiz with a perfect score, you will be directed on how to take the next step in the process of becoming a member of this vital organization. Please, don't shortchange this process. Listen to and study the CCAC 1.0 material carefully. If you have questions or concerns about what you are learning so far, or issues affecting your community, please refer to the links connected to this lesson or contact the person who gave you this information. We extend our best wishes from the Citizens Constitutional Advocacy Council.